The following podcast contains mature language and adult discussion.
I was thinking some kind of animation maybe for the opening. Something like Kev, maybe you like in a Mustang, like flying down the street, taking a turn hard, and we'll do like comic book type animation of you and me sitting in the front seat like we're cool.
What if we were both eating out fucking B. Arthur from behind?
I prefer Rue McClanahan, but listen.
Kay Ballard?
This is Kliq This, the Kevin Nash podcast. I'm Sean Oliver. The guy with me is Kevin Nash. What a production-y open we had, man. This is like,
yeah,
this is too much. When you pitched this to me in like 2017, it was a couple of guys hanging out. I think that's literally what you said to me. Well, what's the show? What is the thing? You said a couple of guys hanging out.
Right.
Let our listeners belly up to the bar. Metaphorically.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because every time we did like a shoot interview session, you know, we always would go out afterwards, Capitol Grill or someplace, and sit down and have, you know, something to drink and something to eat, and we always, and to me that would always end up being a better conversation than what we did on tape. So I always thought that this was
let that not influence anyone ready to go subscribe to the Kayfabe Commentaries Vault. But I also told people there were a handful of guys in the business that I enjoyed time off camera with, and you were one of them. Sullivan's another guy that you could
absolutely
chop it up about almost anything with.
Sullivan's brilliant,
and he'd be cool. So this is the podcast game. Do you listen to podcasts?
My son's a huge podcast guy, so I'm influenced probably more by his influences. Like, I'll listen to Rogan. I like Tom Segura. We listen to D'Elia. Me and my son do. But I mean, I don't listen to a lot. No.
Yeah. It's the new, I mean, I guess radio's dead. Is that the whole thing, right? It's democratized radio, kind of removed the gatekeepers, which is usually a good thing, but sometimes not, because you have varying competencies on the microphone and in production. But this, you know, everyone's going, oh, another wrestling podcast. Oh my God. But this, I don't call this a wrestling podcast because you were a wrestler. Makes it a wrestling podcast?
Yeah. I think it's more of I was also in the Army, so it was a military podcast.
It could be a military podcast. You were a basketball player. Maybe this is a basketball podcast.
It could be a sports podcast. Or, man, drug and alcohol podcast.
You can speak to that equally as fluently.
Yeah.
Maybe the Volunteers. Maybe we should change the colors to orange. They love you down there, huh?
Oh God, I'm one of their favorites.
What did you tell me? You were choking out the coach?
No, I smacked the coach.
Oh, you smacked. Oh, all right. Well, how dare I?
Way before Spreewell.
Right. Before it was cool.
Yeah.
How would you and Bobby Knight have gotten along, I wonder?
Well, this prick was Bobby Knight's assistant. That was his whole deal.
Was he just a hard ass, or?
He went. This is the honest to God truth. I found out later on, like, he had a wife that like used to be at every practice and take pictures, and she had like the long lens, and she'd be on the road and she'd take pictures. And I guess the coach found a box of photographs of me, and I guess he just had, you know, he must have thought I was. He couldn't have thought I was hitting it because she was fucking just brutal.
Yes.
But I think that she had a
Did she put the long zoom to good use?
I mean, you don't really need to get that much of a zoom, it's
Well, I
yeah.
guess, right.
I'm a
So
big guy. I stretch
yeah.
my shit out,
Well, listen, the older guys in Italy used to say, what was it? Così, così. The short guys, the tall guys. The short guys, the tall guy. I don't know how true that is. That's what a short guy says, like me.
No, it's who cares?
Well,
long as you're talking about cock.
Listen, it always comes back to cock. We said that 2 minutes before we went on there. I don't know
That's
how
right.
it came up again, but it always comes. Listen, another wrestling podcast, right? So I should ask you, are you watching Raw every week? Is it on the DVR?
It has been I've DVR'd Raw since I've had a DVR. And there's whether I watch it or not, a lot depends on, like during the NBA season, not a chance. Like, during football, not a chance. But right now, like I'm not much of a early season baseball guy. Hockey's done. And the WNBA games are mostly on Sundays, which I will watch. But so I watched Cena coming back. I watched this the 20-year deal with Cena.
That the big handshake intro.
Yeah, and it was crazy because I know that when he walked in the back, he knew about as many people as I did. I mean, I was just like, I was like, okay, Ziggler and Miz and Ray, and that's it. So. Plus Orton's hurt, and see, what I usually do is I'll tape it and I'll watch the guys that I like to watch. Like I'll watch their segments. So I mean, like Orton's is my favorite current active guy right now. So I think that and I watched it last night, and because I thought maybe I would find something to link the bridge from my wrestling career that I could talk about. And the thing that I found out, or I realized, was like nobody has any heat. And there's nobody on the television show that I look at and I say, that person, if this was real and kicked my door down, I'd be like, oh, fuck.
Mm.
I mean, they're athletic, but they didn't even look like they can throw a fucking punch.
So can we attribute this to, because I mean, the cat's been out of the bag with kayfabe for a long time, right? So we can't say, well, it's because, no one believes that it's real, because we didn't believe the NWO was real either, but you guys had mad heat. So what is it? Is it the performers? Is it the writing? Is it the jaded fan who you literally have to blow up half the arena to get a reaction now? What is it?
I think that what it is that it's just the work style has just changed, where it's a spot fest. To me, it almost feels like when I watch a match, like I'm so glad when they go into that, and I realize now that they both the companies do it, where the commercial break, they go to the action in a small box.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually enjoy that more because they're going so fucking fast on a large screen TV. It's just, you're like, slow the fuck down.
You get whiplash watching it. Yeah.
Yeah. It's just too, like nobody sells shit. Like you can throw one punch and have the guy fucking sell it and go against the ropes. Sooner or later, you're going to send the guy off the ropes and you can go do your high spot, but you don't have to. Like, I watched Seth Rollins, and Seth is a great athlete. He's unbelievably talented. He's had some of the best matches I've seen. But transitionally right now, like I watched him last night, that first volley, or on Monday, it was actually Monday night. But I watched last night, the first volley that he threw in the corner where the guy kind of turned his back on him. It looked like he was like making egg whites. you know?
Is that an industry term? I don't.
Yeah,
Oh,
just like,
okay. Yes.
you know, and I'm not like, you know, laying the wood, brother.
Right. Right. So if you were down there as a trainer, so if they wanted you to go to, did you ever get invited down to talk to any of the developmentals?
Yeah, I actually worked with the big man, Giant Amos.
So what'd you tell the kids that could transcend to today, right? Because you can't, I guess you can't go back 20 years. Stylistically, they have to be competitive with what the fan expects to see today. But what can they take from your time and still apply today and still make it look like today's product, but maybe have an edge?
Oh, I talked to the big guys. You know, I was down there with the bigger guys, and I told them like, there's nothing like when you stop somebody and you stop 'em, like in the middle of the ring. Take them and throw them from there to the turnbuckle, and then take one step and do the clothesline instead of taking somebody all the way back, throwing them on that 20-foot ring, and then you know, plotting down. It's like, I mean, you just have to learn how to use the ring effectively to your limited capabilities, because you're just not gonna move like the smaller guys do.
Right.
So
you do watch those still. That's good.
yeah, I mean, but it was also funny that, you know, Cena did an interview, and I thought it was kind of like weird. I'm sure. I mean, I know John's super busy, but like to have him come back to Laredo, that just didn't, you know, of all places, like just nothing against Laredo. It's just when I think of wrestling hotspots, you know, how about Laredo? And then he cut a promo, and you know, one of the things that I'll say for John is probably top 5 promo guy of all time. And but it was, to me, like cutting the promos like playing golf, and you could tell that John had not cut, you know, a promo in a while. It was still solid, but didn't have the same, you know.
So the guys that are on TV every week, they're naturally going to get better.
They're
right?
going to get better. Yeah, repetition is going to make you better. Absolutely.
Right. You're a news addict. I know, right? You lock yourself into the news constantly. So it's good to see that you get some wrestling time in there. There's been plenty in the news. I just want to say up front. Now I'm a lifelong Cowboys fan, so this story crossed my phone this morning. They have a partnership with with a coffee company, right? Which is apparently a pro-gun coffee company. They put in their ads. There you go. Yeah. I guess some of the verbiage in the ads could be seen as a little tone deaf today. I think it's. So I want to get the exact. Quote of what the ad said. But did you see this?
No, but I know for a fact that I don't know if they still do, but I used to listen to Dana. I think her name's Dana Bausch. Is that her name?
Bash, yeah. Dana Bash.
I used to listen to her all the time on the way to the gym, because she was a Republican and she's a gun. You know, she's a big Second Amendment girl, but she was cool. I mean, she was, you know, she was kind of a centralist. Like she was an actual Republican. And, you know, she would call bullshit on bullshit. So I'd listen to her, and then after her would be Hannity. And it would be like, all of a sudden it was like, you know, like the acid kicked in. And, you know, but he had that, whatever the hell the name of that company you're talking about.
Black Rifle Coffee.
That was one of his, I know that was one of his sponsors.
They have
that fucking pillow fucking freak.
Oh, that guy, yeah. They have the AK-47 espresso blend, the murdered out coffee roast, and the silencer smooth coffee roast.
Yeah.
So
let me kick in your fucking door with fucking, yeah, it's just like, that's so, I'm a huge gun guy.
I know you are.
But when it comes down to it, like, an AR-15 is not a good hunting weapon. I mean, anybody that knows what that round does, if you were to shoot a deer with it, you're going to end up ripping, you know, you end up eating shit. by the time the bullet comes out his ass. You know, it's just not a weapon.
Well, nobody even purports that those are hunting guns, right? I mean,
maybe need to talk to our girl Green from Georgia. She it's her favorite hunting weapon.
Marjorie?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Well, listen.
How much stupid can you put in a human being?
It's become this left-right issue, but it's really a common sense issue, and the Constitution is a document that has been amended and can continue to be amended. And when you talk about the wisdom of the founding fathers, they knew things were going to change. They probably suspected, as they wrote the Second Amendment, that a single load musket was probably not always going to be the norm. Probably thought that at one time you were not going to be called out in the middle of the night to fight the redcoats, and you needed your musket at hand. So we're at a time where we don't have the single load musket, and I don't think the redcoats are coming.
No.
So what can we talk about?
Well, we've got I think they said yesterday when I was watching between 10 and 20 million AR-15s in this country. And so, and I know that there's a lot of people like myself that I didn't necessarily need an AR-15, but if it's like anything, it's like the arms race, If Pakistan has it, then India has it. Then if they have it, then we, so it becomes a situation where, the Second Amendment says right to bear arms. Well, is an Abrams A1 tank, is that considered an arm? I mean, do I have the right?
It does say to bear arms to serve a militia.
And like in today's, right now, say if we were in Ukraine and we were part of a militia, would you go with a musket? Would you go with an AR-15, or would you go with an Abrams?
Right.
I think I'd take the Abrams.
Right. It's a touchy issue.
Yeah.
I know you're currently building a tunnel there. You're in Florida. You're building a tunnel so 10-year-olds can get out to get abortions. I know.
Yeah, because I think that that's one thing is just take the woman and take her body and just she has no say so on what happens to her body. And I think, if I had to sum it up, it's real simple. If you don't believe in abortion, don't have one. But for a 10-year-old girl in Ohio to get raped and miss the 6-week cutoff by 3 or 4 or 5, 6 days, whatever it is, and she's basically at this point now told by Ohio that she's got to go term at 10 years old with a rapist child, with a rapist baby inside of her. And she has to go to Indianapolis to have a procedure done to have the abortion. Like, fucking really?
That's where we are now, man.
I mean, when are we going to fucking, when are we going to put women in burqas around this motherfucker?
We're in an interesting time. We're in a time where the word rights, it's one of the most bandied about terms, rights. And the disparate interpretation of just that word has created so much strife in everybody's interpretation of right. We first heard the rumblings of this during COVID. They would talk about masks as a violation of someone's right, which, of course, the flip side is then you're granting someone the right to get me or my kid or my kid's grandmother sick or kill them. So it comes down to rights. It's the rights argument. It's not going to end. It's going to, what we've done is we've created this centrifuge, right, where left and right have bounced off each other. Okay. They have collided and thrust themselves almost right around the world where they've landed next to each other now,
Right.
around the sphere, and now they're next to each other. And I'm talking about extremism. I'm not talking about the majority who land in the middle, whether you vote for a Republican or a Democrat. We're all probably within 5 or 10 percentage points away from each other with a handful of beliefs. Talking about our extreme has stretched the argument so much because that bounce, that positive negative charge has really created such a chasm. It's so wide now. You used to be able to have a debate. A Democrat and a Republican used to be able to have a debate. Now they're on different planets now.
No. It used to be that a Republican could have a debate with actual Republicans. And I watched, what I could of the Liz Cheney debate in Wyoming. And I mean, I thought it was a sitcom. I mean, as far as I'm concerned, if Liz Cheney runs for president and she runs against Biden, I'll vote for Liz Cheney. And I'm a Democrat, but I'm a
Right.
centralist Democrat. And
Right.
it's just like, I know she'll get shit done because you know why? Because if she's going to go to the bat phone, it'll be to Dick.
You have any political aspirations? It might seem like a stupid question, but do you have any desire to ever do anything politically? I've never talked to you for more than 10 minutes where it didn't go to something in the news or some policy issue.
To me, it's just like, I don't play golf because I'm not going to be a scratch golfer. So, I'm just not going to be a scratch golfer. So there's no if I can't be really, really good at something, and in this country, I don't think that you can be successful as a politician. I just don't think that there's name one. Name a politician that's successful.
When you say successful, you mean to actually be able to get things done because
when I was a kid, shit got done across. There used to be, 5 senators that were Democrats and 6 that were Republicans, and they were often some wing putting some bill together, and they came to the floor. And nowadays, it's just like red. If you're red or you're blue, it's just like it doesn't work. Like we can't do it. And then it's like we'll get the filibuster. We'll do this. It's just like. Our country's a fucking mess. Like
I know, but what I think really what it needs is there was a piece in the Times magazine on Sunday, and it was about, I think that the title of the article, I'm going to paraphrase it, was something like the moderate Democrat has the most popular ideas. Why are they disappearing? And it was just an examination of that kind of that more middle ground, that more centralized opinion. And they had a poll that they quoted, and 47% of voters thought GOP voters thought the GOP was too extreme, and 48% of thought the Democrats were too extreme. So that's 95% of the voting population feels that their party is out of touch with a more moderate ideal.
Right.
That leaves 5%, this vocal 5% on both sides. We'll take the ones, taking a shit in Pelosi's office in the Capitol, and the ones that want to cancel anything that they have decided is offensive. So the two extremes, that leaves 5%, but it's become so vocal. But most people, the great majority, are where you are. So I do think you'd have success. I think people like you would have success in Washington.
I think one thing that I would have going for me is, like, people say so many Americans are uninformed. They're just uninformed. And I'm like, they're uninformed because the middle class gets absolutely nothing. They got to work 2 fucking jobs, shuffle kids around. They got to do, I'm sorry that I don't have fucking a half hour to watch the nightly news, but I've got to get to my shift at Wawa's.
Yeah.
You know, after working the assembly line for fucking 9 hours. Like, fuck, it's like middle class America. How about those, I got two of my really close friends are teachers. And when Trump gave the tax cut, they got like $115 a month or something like that back, you know?
Mm.
And then and then fucking Amazon fucking's not paying a dime.
Well, the top don't need it.
No.
The bottom get it, and the middle have to shoulder it and pay it.
Yep.
That's who's paying the taxes. Listen, this brings us to our first of the weekly segments here, Kevin. This is the stiff one of the week. Okay, we're going to get stiff. Now, who better to sponsor this, Kevin, than our friends at BLUECHEW? Now, Kevin, the 90s, when the action was done in the ring, I would imagine that some of the boys could use some help with the action in the hotel rooms, okay? But what choice did you have back then, huh? What could have done a run-in for you and got a young worker going in the hotel room?
Once youth was gone, you were fucked.
That was it. I mean, Baron Mikel Cicluna, circa 1979, after an Allentown taping, maybe a young lady's misfortunate enough to find herself in the Baron's room, and maybe the Baron needs a little help. Well, listen, this week, the stiff one of the week is brought to you by BLUECHEW, and BLUECHEW is the answer to this question that I propose, okay? The temperatures aren't the only thing rising this summer, Kevin. Guys, confidence will take you far in life, but it could also help you in the bedroom, especially when it comes time to step up to the plate. Baron Mikel, the ghost of Baron Mikel, sitting beside me as I say this. That's where BLUECHEW comes in. BLUECHEW is a unique online service that delivers the same active ingredients as Viagra and Cialis, but in chewable tablets and at a fraction of the cost. You can take them anytime, day or night, so you can plan ahead or be ready whenever an opportunity arises. The process is simple. Sign up at BLUECHEW.com. You consult with one of their licensed medical providers, and once you're approved, you will receive your prescription within days. The best part, it's all online, Kev. No sitting in the doctor's office talking about it with him or at the pharmacy. God forbid, Marge comes out and says, Mr. Nash, we misplaced your prescription. What was that for again? Shoot me. Like, I need this. BLUECHEW's tablets are made in the USA. They're prepared and shipped direct to your door in discreet packaging. With BLUECHEW, men everywhere are excited to see the postman because when their package arrives, their package arrives. Now, you can benefit from extra confidence when it's time to perform. BLUECHEW can help. And we've got a special deal for the listeners here. Try BLUECHEW free when you use our promo code NASH at checkout. Just pay $5 shipping so they can get it to you. That's BLUECHEW.com, promo code NASH. You're going to get your first month free. Visit BLUECHEW.com for more details and important safety information. And we thank BLUECHEW for sponsoring the Stiff One of the Week. Now, this is when we play something, Kevin. It might be you. It might be someone else who went stiff on another worker. And I'd like you to expand and give your reaction. So this week's, you actually mentioned in our little preview, for any fans that watched the preview episode, they heard you reference this clip from Mr. Matt Borne.
Back today, I don't know what you're talking about. Have Sean show you the clip from our show. Here's our show. Wrestling.
This is when I should have never been broken in.
This is the one.
I heard a guy that's really a name, become a name in the wrestling business in the last 15, 20 years.
Obviously guy. Not your dentist.
He used that F word in an interview that I saw him do in reaction to a Flair thing. And he used that word. And I was watching him.
I watched this. I'm thinking, I said, fuck.
You know, should have.
I said, fake.
In the wrestling business.
Motherfucker.
Because if you would have, and it would have been done right, that word would have never came out of your mouth in that context. So Kevin Nash, you don't belong in the wrestling business. Should have never been broke in. You're a big man. You think you're freaking all that, but you ain't. And you should have, bottom line, you should have never been allowed to break into the wrestling business just because of that one thing. You used that word.
Fake?
And because I'm not fake. I'm not fake. My father wasn't fake. And I know a lot of guys out there that those are fighting words.
See, Big Josh, what you are,
I don't care what Vince did to expose it all. Those are still fighting words to me.
Oh.
Now, what I didn't realize at the time, nor did you share when we were on set together, but this happened in a hot tub.
Yeah. I mean, the start of this conversation happened in a hot tub. No, come on. You know, it's like a guy's act. It actually is so well dated, you know, because it just kind of fits right in with the narrative of today. Guess what, man? Copperfield doesn't make the Statue of Liberty fucking disappear. It is what it is. Now, do I wake up every morning? I mean, I went to an acupuncturist today and she actually bloodlet me. She fucking took blood out of my ear. She took blood out of like different areas of my body because my chakras are, you know, I mean, so I'm doing everything and anything. I'm in so much pain. And, you know, but as I said in my career early and often, the only things that are real in this business are the money and the miles. And that's it.
Was that a Lou Albano quote? Someone
Yes.
asked me that on a show recently, and I thought it was an Albano quote. All right.
He was also very good at, you always say, back in the day, you say how long was it to Poughkeepsie? You say a quart of vodka. We didn't go by miles. We went by vodka. You know, how much of vodka took? I was like, yeah, good for you, Lou.
Would have loved to have known Lou.
It was
Never got to meet Lou.
We got him so pissed off one night. We were in Providence, and it was me and Shawn Michaels, and he was managing the head shrinkers. And every time we would go over, we'd crotch chop him and say, "Hey Lou, how about a pipe job? How about a pipe job?" And I mean, just
my God, what in the wrong company that might get you in trouble.
How about a pipe job? How about a pipe job? You know, just so. Finally, we go to the finish, and Sean takes the slingshot, and he does the Slaughter, Pat Patterson, Madison Square Garden zipper job. I mean, but he does it. He hardways himself, and he busts himself wide open on his forehead. So we're in the back, and they're trying to get the blood to stop, and they're trying to hold Lou back, and Lou's got like this little, you know, pocket knife. He wants to kill us. And he said, "What do you got to say now?" And I said, "Well, I want a pipe job." And needless to say, we didn't get killed. But that was my only run-in of where I later on I said, "Dude," I said, "we're just messing with you." He goes, "Yeah, but the people could hear." I'm like, yeah, whatever.
See, listen, these guys, Matt Borne, Lou Albano, kayfabe was a real thing, man. And thank you, by the way, for getting Pat Patterson and pipe job in the same story. So we're going to jump right now to because Florida or dirty Jersey. We are separated on the East Coast by many miles, Kevin. Florida is an interesting state, and Jersey has its share of moments as well. So I thought I would read you two headlines. I'd like you to try to pick which is a real headline from a New Jersey incident and which is a real headline from Florida. Okay, because Florida or dirty Jersey. Cue the music. I'm kidding. There's no music. Maybe we'll get that next week. So the first one is face-eating attack lasted 18 agonizing minutes. Okay, that's the first headline. Face-eating attack lasted 18 agonizing minutes. The other headline, man named Bacon arrested for fight over sausage.
I'm going to go the first one because I think Florida had that flesh-eating situation about 12, 15 years ago. So I'm going to say that was Florida man. And then, of course, I'll have to go. The second one was Jersey. You
are absolutely correct.
Yes.
Let's bring this up. The face. Yes, it was Miami. There it is.
Yes.
Apparently, this is, I think, a bath salt incident for what I remember.
Yeah, it was
exactly
bath salts.
Here
Yep.
It says, let me see here. Close this here fucking thing. Rudy Eugene, who authorities suspect may have been high on a dangerous new street drug known as bath salts, had to be shot 4 times by a police officer to halt the cannibalistic attack. The victim was Ronald Popo, 65. He was in critical condition. And 75% of his face was devoured by Mr. Eugene. So if that wasn't an advertisement for those new bath salts, I don't know what was. Now, let's just get to Mr. Bacon here, too, because this was too good to pass up. Man named Bacon arrested over Fight over sausage. According to police in New Jersey, a man named Thomas Bacon. For any of you who thought that it was in any way Francis Bacon, the painter, was not, has been charged with assault after he beat up a man because of some sausage. It's not clear how the two men are linked, nor why Bacon's temper was brought to such a sizzle. So that's it. So that was that. And this is the Scott Hall episode. So
I actually brought my cup down.
I did see that. Is that Scott on it, or is it you?
That's Scott.
That's Scott. Okay. There it is. Okay, I can see it. Are you on the back when you turn? Or maybe did fans get to choose their?
No.
Okay.
Just NWO.
Excellent. So, you know, we went back and forth. I should tell everybody about. We knew the first episode was going to be Scott since he passed away, and I think you actually texted me from the service that you wanted to do something for him, and that was of course fine. And we went back and forth with guests, and did we want to have people come on and tell their remembrances of it? But you said to me, can I just talk about Scott? So I said, of course, that's what it should be then. This was your idea. And I was actually, when we first talked about the show, this iteration of the show, not the 2017, 18, 19, or 20 iteration of the show, I said to you, well, first episode has to be your boys, right? And you were like, well, you didn't hear. I said, no. And you said, oh, Scott's in a bad way. This was a few months ago, obviously, but it was I guess it was a fast road downhill. We'll get to that, but I want to go back to your time with him. You know, he had WWE tryouts. I didn't realize this in 87 and 90. 91 was a dark match on Challenge. Did he ever talk about that with you? Ever say why he didn't get signed or?
No. It's funny because he didn't. I mean, I know his past. I know, like, where like, I know specific stories that he would tell. But Scott's like me. Scott's like not one of those guys that when you sit in the car, they, we're too busy having fun and talking about shit that's going on, or talking about what we're doing at that present time to, I mean, I think early, I think Scott and I started traveling together in 91. Whenever Diamond Stud and Oz were both on that super, whatever the hell that thing was from St. Petersburg.
It was 91, I think.
91, yeah. We started driving. I had a Cadillac, a Sedan DeVille Cadillac, and I picked up Scott when we went to Macon TV shortly. I think it was like the week after that pay-per-view. We went to Macon TV together. That was the infamous time where we're driving down, and back then it was funny because me and him both used to wear those bike coaching shorts that the coaches used to wear. Remember those things?
Yeah.
With the high waist, and because they were great because you could wear them, but you could train in them too.
Right.
So you could get a couple of days. Wear black ones, you could get 3 days out of them easy on a summer road. So we're going down to Macon, and he says, mind if I change the radio? I said, no. And he reaches across and changes the radio, and then rubs his hand across my knee. And he does it like 2 or 3 times, and I'm thinking like, and finally I looked over at him, he just busted out laughing. He said, Matt, he goes, I thought you were just going to let me go all the way. I said, dude, I was getting ready to pull the car over. And that was kind of like, we really didn't even know each other. And that was kind of like our like from then on in, I was just like, okay, like we get it. So, but it's funny, like when I met Scott, there was the guys that drank and then, and didn't train. And there are guys that smoked weed and trained. And Scott and I were the smokers and went to the gym. We did for the first couple years of my life in the wrestling business, I didn't have beer at my house. There'd be a bottle of wine here and there, but I mean, I didn't drink beer. And then as time went on, well, like, I guess, I mean, 93 was the big turnaround where they made it a fine and termination to smoke cannabis.
Mm.
And so, but it was okay to eat pills and drink. So,
Right. But so now the order of you guys coming together, the Kliq, it would have been Sean in '88 with Marty, right, from the AWA, and then
right.
Scott 92. He does diamond studded WCW, and then 92 he's in WWE. You were 93?
Uh-huh.
Pac was 93 too, but after you, I think.
Yeah, we were real close.
And then, well, obviously Hunter was like 95 or something, but
Yeah.
so how long after you guys come in there? Well, you come in 93, Scott's already there. How long after that do you start traveling with him?
The first, my first road trip, when I first came, I went and saw Vince. I went to Vince's house and I met everybody and met Pat Patterson and met JJ and Pritchard. And we were all sitting around the pool. And, basically they just said, hey, you're going to go to Albany tonight. You're going to be with Shawn Michaels. You're going to screw Marty Jannetty. And he's going to become the IC champ. And they're going to take you in. Next thing you know, I was in a car on my way to Albany. And in some tracksuit that I ended up wearing for like 3 or 4 days. But we did that Raw. And then the next week when I came back to start like the 23-day tour, Scott was with us. And Scott and was not working with Sean at the time. So the three of us were together. And then eventually Sean got away from Marty and went into the Scott with Scott, the Razor Ramon angle. And God, I mean, the three of us, between Razor, Diesel, and Shawn Michaels, the three of us worked for that IC belt for probably 2 years. One of us having it, and either me on the outside or Sean on the outside, or so.
Well, when you were doing when you were doing the bodyguard thing with Sean and he was working Scott, were you still traveling together even though you were involved in that angle?
Oh yeah.
So there was no. Sorry, Matt Borne. There was no moratorium on baby faces and heels.
There was, but Shawn Michaels, I mean, basically, got called into the office and they told Sean that he couldn't ride, and he said, "Motherfucking, if I'm going to be on the road for 320 days a year, you don't tell me who the fuck I'm going to spend my time with."
Oh, so they did address it.
Yeah, it was addressed.
Was it Vince?
Yep.
All right. So that could have been the first. Was that the first power play? Was that the first missive sent from the Kliq that you can't tell us who to ride with? There would be many impromptu meetings with Vince and the Kliq after that, but was that the first one? Maybe
I wasn't there for the meeting. It was between Vince and Sean, and
but he was representing you guys.
Yeah,
saying,
I mean,
tell
it
us
was
who to ride with.
But we always left the building and would put whoever, like Scott would put a pillowcase over his head in the back seat, and they'd go, "Razor, Razor," and he'd go, "I'm not Razor." And later on, it was the Kid. It was like when Kid was working with Scott, "I'm not the Kid."
How would he leave the gold on? Like he'd have the pillowcase with all the gold on his
it
neck?
didn't matter. Yeah, no, it was just it was just to piss the guys off. The guys like, look at them. I remember one time we were overseas and Bam Bam got up front. We got back. We were in Newark, had some meeting for at a television. Probably I think we were in White Plains, and he said, "Hey man, it's really killing us, that that the Kliq is all getting on the same bus, and they're not getting on heel and babyface buses. The Kliq's just breaking kayfabe and getting on the same bus." Scott stood up and he goes, he said, because people are following us from town to town, and Scott gets up and goes, "Hey, dumb fuck. If they're following us from town to town, it means they're seeing the same fucking match every night. So I think they, A, know it's a work, B, they know we're fucking buddies, because when we get back, that same group of marks are following us to the next hotel, to the bar, and seeing the 5 of us drink. Well, 4 of us. Paul didn't drink. But, you know, hanging around and party. And I said, it's, you know, and Scott was like, come on. And that was another one of those things where they just kind of just went like.
So did the office say anything about you guys being together at the bars afterwards?
No.
What was your best match against Scott?
Against Scott? I thought we had a hell of a match psychology-wise at Halloween Havoc when he was doing the drinking angle. I thought we had, I think psychology-wise, I thought that told a pretty strong story.
Did that leave a bad taste in anyone's mouth when they brought that stuff on camera?
You know, he wasn't as he had actually like came back from rehab. It was portrayed like Eric was taking advantage of it, but Scott was totally cool with it. And Scott was, at the time he threw up on Eric, that was pea green soup in his mouth, and you know, they that was one of the things that the NWO was, you know, that kind of made it so successful, was it did blur the lines.
Mm-hmm.
And it definitely, you know, that I remember one of the things when they were going to fire Scott for alcohol abuse, and I had that Hey Yo shirt, and it had Last Call with Scott Hall, and it had a picture of a martini glass with the toothpick through the olive, and they were going to merchandise that. They never put it out, but I had one, and that was when they couldn't. They had to end up paying him his money.
Right. You know,
I remember they were going to fire him. He was working Sid, and for some reason I wasn't at the pay-per-view. I think I faked a heart attack or something. And anyway, I was supposed to do a job for the Giant, and he worked for Sid. And I said to him, I said, hey, you know, and Benoit called me, and he said he had overheard that they were going to fire Scott. So I said, thanks, man. So I got a hold of Scott, and I said, whatever you do when you take the power bomb, you got to leave on a backboard. And he said, all right, man. And he left on a backboard, and they didn't fire him. So.
Did, you know, when I think about the Kliq stories and like the power play with Vince, like that, where was that meeting? Indianapolis or something, where he actually got on a fucking plane. You made him get on a plane.
No, we asked
hear
him
your grievances.
We you know, that's the whole thing. But the thing, we had a meeting with Vince in a locker room somewhere, and he got us all in the locker room. He walked in and he goes, you know, and Vince is he's a great worker. He walked in, he goes, let me ask you guys fucking something right now. What's the deal with this fucking Kliq? And we just kind of said to like, oh, fuck, okay, this is a different tone than he's ever taken. He goes, because goddamn it, I want in. And we all looked at him and laughed. He goes, fuck. We said, you love the business, man, you're in. And he said, man, he basically kind of told us, like, you guys are busting your ass. You're coming up with shit. Because we didn't just come up with shit for ourselves. We came up with shit for other guys, too. And Pat and Vince were booking. It wasn't like there was a bunch of writers.
But was there not an element of that kind of rebel spirit where you had the strength in numbers? So you could basically... You controlled the House and the Senate. If one of you
Right.
guys was not happy with something, you guys all kind of got on the same page, and Vince had no choice but to change direction or a decision because it wasn't going to affect.
Well, if you ask Jim Cornette, he just fired everybody and fined them, fined everybody, and that's what I'd done.
That's episode 5. That's the stiff shot of the week.
I heard that fucking. I heard him talking about the curtain call, you know, and he had
right. What he said, he didn't say he'd fire everybody because you were leaving already. You and Scott.
I said he couldn't fire us,
but he wouldn't pay you. He wouldn't have given you your pay, final payoff.
Yeah, and my whole thing is this. So, if you've ever watched that thing in its entirety, I take the super kick. I sell it. Sean walks out of the cage, touches the floor, and he comes back in. And I'm still selling it. He bends over, like smacks me around. I think he bends down and kisses me on the forehead. I'm still selling the super kick. Down comes Scott and Paul. I'm still selling the super kick. They get me to my feet. I stagger to the corner. I'm still selling. Because I'm just breaking kayfabe like a motherfucker as I sell my way to the corner. That's why the first hug, when you see that photograph, we're all in that fucking turnbuckle, because I was using the turnbuckle to keep myself up. We weren't trying to fucking destroy the business. We weren't trying to show everybody that it was if it would have been a work, I would have fucking jumped up and fucking done it. It's entertainment. I mean, like he just like, before you open your mouth, look at it, and you know, and he will now. And I didn't like Cornette. You know, I didn't.
When he was there, you mean?
Yeah, I didn't like Cornette. I didn't like him for until we got to TNA. And me and Cornette would be in a room, and these guys would be laying this shit out, and him and I at the same time would be like, whoa, wait a minute, that doesn't make fucking sense. And I looked at myself. I said, oh my God. I said, when you like, as you get older, like your psychology and your like, there's so many things that change on how you look at the business. But you know, Cornette's smart. I mean, you know, he's a smart guy. He knows he does know the business, but he knows it. He can't book a territory, nor can I book a territory. But us together with you know, a couple other, like with Sean and a couple other people, yeah, we could definitely do some damage.
You ever ride with Jim?
No,
he was never invited into the.
I know that Sean Waltman went to a pet store and got a bunch of frogs and put them in his jacket and slammed the jacket against a brick wall about 20 times.
Yeah. So he was a fan also, I guess.
Yeah, he was a huge fan. Loved the Kliq.
When did Pac start riding with you?
So we were in El Paso City, El Paso, and they had shaved kids' eyebrows.
Oh yeah.
It was, I think Henning did it, but somehow Bart and Billy got the heat. And you know, the horrible thing about getting your eyebrow shaved is the next morning you wake up and it's like, do you leave the one or do you shave them both? And everybody shaves the other one to balance it out, and then now you look like fucking Frankenstein. And of course, kids, we had like photos the next day.
Oh yeah,
So-
I was gonna say there are like publicity
Oh,
pictures that
for
he
the-
had.
for
to
like-
take,
and-
like-
and- and the-
Why
and the
didn't he
couple-
draw them on before? I saw a shot. I texted him one night. I came across like a fan posted a thing, and I said, well, what happened to the eyebrows? He's like, you know damn well what happened to the eyebrows. But I was like, why didn't you draw them on before the photo shoot? Get some eyeliner or some shit.
So we go to El Paso City, and the smoking guns are going out, and they put their hats on the top of this like rack. Kid takes super glue and puts it around the inside rim of their cowboy hats. They put their cowboy hats on. They go down to the ring. They go in the corners. They shoot their little cap guns, blank guns, whatever the hell they had. They go to pull the hats off like this. And kids just sitting there and looking through the curtain. And he looks over at us. He goes, and fucking walks by us. And I said, I looked at the other two guys. I said, fuck that. I said, number one, he needs protection. Number two, that's badass as fuck. He's got to drive with us.
So that
And
was
I'll
it. That's what did it.
That did it, man. I was just like, what a ballsy fucking, yeah.
You know, the only thing that could have been better than riding with the Kliq at the time is riding with the Kliq and having the peace of mind of having CARSHIELD Kevin, because it makes it easy and affordable to protect my car from expensive repairs. And that's just for starters. CarShield is the #1 auto protection company in the U.S., and it offers protection plans for around $100 a month. The plan covers more parts than ever before, whether your car has 5,000 miles or 150,000 miles. Let me tell you how simple it is to get your car fixed. When you need a repair, you choose the mechanic, okay? And then CarShield's administrators handle the rest. That's it. You don't have to deal with the paperwork, the headaches. You're taken care of. Same goes if your car breaks down and you're stuck on the side of the road. Plans through CarShield also include coast-to-coast roadside assistance. CarShield administrators are there for you with rental car options too. So trip reimbursement, no extra cost either. Okay, so get your coverage today. Lock in your price now, and it will never go up. Did you hear that? I'm going to repeat that. You get your coverage today. You lock in the price when you go online. It never goes up. That means as long as you own that car, no matter how old it is, you're protected from the rising costs of parts and repairs for your vehicle. Now, CarShield helps you protect your wallet from expensive car repairs, and they'll do the same for you. They do it for me. They'll do it for you. Go to carshield.com/podcast to start your plan and lock in your pricing forever. That's carshield.com/podcast. A deductible may apply. Thank you, CarShield. You know, you guys put major miles on. The only thing that was real was the money and the miles, and CarShield would have helped you with that. Well, had Lou Albano only lived long enough for a little CarShield action. Now, you guys, let me get back to Scott for a minute here. Now, Scott's iterations of characters through the years. He's in Florida. Is he trained by Dusty? I know he starts in Florida. So who trains Scott?
Matsudo.
Oh, it was.
Yeah.
Okay. He's out of there by 85 though, right? Because I think he's in AWA at 85.
He was in Kansas City too.
Oh, that's true. In between both, I think.
Yeah,
right?
he was in Kansas City.
He does that was Geigel, and then he goes to up to Minneapolis. Big Scott Hall. Now, does this did he ever talk about Vern with you? Any valuable Vern stories?
No, I mean I some of the things that he would bring up was like, I know that he won like a battle royal or something like that, and I guess the prize was some giant truck or some shit, some pickup truck. But I remember like they did it in like, you know, the Metro Dome or wherever the hell they did it at, and Scott ended up like having a cinder block and like getting the crowd all fired up. I guess he fucking threw the cinder block through the window of the truck or some shit. I mean, I remember one of my favorite stories is Marty Jannetty like trashed a hotel room, and somehow Scott got blamed, and he got called in, and they deducted money out of his check and told him, you know, one more time he just get sent home. And so he got to the building, and Marty was asleep on a training table. And I guess Scott just, I mean, beat the dog shit out of him. So that was what Scott would always say, like, you know, I might not be the toughest guy, but sooner or later I'll get you when you're sleeping.
But so did that carry over to WWE when they were together there?
You know what? I think it's one of those things where I think Marty was one of those guys, man. He when he fucked up and he knew it, he just like, I think he took his medicine and just said, fuck it.
Right. Okay. So there was never any heat that you knew of that
no,
that carried over there,
because it wasn't fake.
right? So, did you ever hear that there were plans for Scott to replace Hogan for Vern? Did he want to give him a long-term heavyweight title run?
Yeah, I mean, I know that that was, you know, that Scott was kind of being groomed for that. But, you know, the thing with Scott would, you know, while they would be having that conversation, Scott would be, you know, working in Puerto Rico trying to get to All Japan. Like, he was always working, you know, to get something. He loved working Japan. And I remember like when before he left to go to WCW in 93, or no, 96, I mean, he went into Vince and he said, you know, if you can't give me more money, can I work a couple weeks in Japan? And Ben said, no, as soon as you get over there, I'll need you here. And that was one of the things that Scott always wanted that we both did. And I loved going over to Japan, you know. So it was one thing Scott and I both.
It wasn't difficult over there with the schedule because you were bussed everywhere, right?
Yeah.
Those rides were a little hellacious, no? Or did they book you all near?
No, I mean there were some long rides, and you know, it was just so different. It was one of those. It was I don't think I ever read more books in my life than on a tour in Japan. Like I would devour like a book a day. You know, I could just. Remember one time I was in Okinawa and it was raining. We had like an afternoon show, and I got to the hotel, and I was reading the Manson book.
Helter Skelter?
Yeah, and I just got myself all worked up, you know, in this little, you know, in a room that I could basically touch my feet and my arms at the same time. You know, it was like a 7x7 room where if you open the door, the shitter, the shower, and everything is, and you learn, you got to take the toilet paper out of there because you shit shower. It's just a plastic shell that, you know, this little 3x3, just lovely. I don't know why we loved it so much. I guess because we love torture.
Yeah. Well, the different environment. The fans were very respectful, of course, right?
Yeah. And the thing is, too, man. Every time I've ever been to Japan, like. The minute I get there, it's like somebody put a Xanax underneath my tongue. You know, just like
you're able to
just chill.
Go into a different state when you get into.
Yeah, it's just chill. You know, nobody's yelling at you. Nobody's an asshole.
When Scott leaves AWA, I think he does do Japan, and then comes to WCW, right? This is the Diamond Stud and DDP and everything. Who does he credit with the toothpick gimmick? I'm sure he told me on air somewhere. I don't remember half of what.
Dallas, I think, because him and Dallas were both going to bring the toothpicks out, and Dallas fumble fucked his before, and so it ended up Scott being the only one that threw the toothpick.
Okay.
Yeah. But Dallas gave him the whole look. You know, Dallas.
Yes,
yeah. Dallas told him.
Now the Diamond Mine times with Vinny Vegas, with our friend Vinny Vegas, and
yes.
And Raven. Well, what was he? Scotty Flamingo, right? Yeah. At the time, what was that vibe like? How come that wasn't the Kliq? How come Raven wasn't part of this deal?
I mean,
too hard to keep up with them with all this trivia.
No, out of Atlanta, Raven, DDP, and I traveled a lot. I got along I got along great with Scotty. I mean, I think Scott Levy's a genius. He's a brilliant guy. Not only just
can't put him over like that. He's gonna believe it, and he's gonna repeat that.
He knows I love him.
So all right, so let's get up to WWE now. So we were here, 93, he becomes IC champ for the first time, I think. And so, like we talked about before, you're doing the Michaels, Diesel, and Scott thing. Did you know? It's from an outsider's perspective. Let me just give you my take. It's very easy to watch a match and know who's a wrestler. Okay, you go to these indie shows like at a VFW hall, even if you get a guy in there who worked underneath a couple of the federations, he just moves differently in the ring. He moves like a wrestler. I don't know if it's a confidence or something or the training, but they move, they fall, they walk, they just move differently. Now, I think when you do the prototypical what a wrestler should look like, I think Scott was there at the perfect time because the steroid stuff was happening and the big bodies weren't going to be okay anymore, right? They weren't going to tolerate, or they couldn't tolerate publicly, the barbarian type look. So here's a guy like Scott, moves great, can work different styles. I mean, this is a guy that's like a laboratory wrestler for 1992. This is what you want your guy to look like, right? How far did you think Scott could have gone?
Without a doubt, he's probably one of the 5 most talented wrestlers that's ever. I'll put him. I mean, to put Scott Hall on your Mount Rushmore is not because you lost your friend. I mean, I've touched with everybody, all the Hall of Fame guys, and there's nobody better than Scott Hall. Nobody. Scott can wrestle. Scott can punch and kick. Scott can work babyface. Scott can work heel. I mean, he's a great tag wrestler. Scott was he was the total package, man.
Now he pitches the razor thing as is the popular story anyway. He pitches the razor thing to Pat and Vince. They go for it, borrowing the Scarface accent and that whole thing and all the one-liners from the film, bad guy and all that. Did he tire of that though? Did he want to break out of that, or was he okay? But had he not left and become Scott Hall again, would he have been okay being Razor Ramon for 20 years?
Yeah. Because I think towards the end, I think that he was less Razor Ramon and more Scott Hall. Yeah, but the thing was that he was so convincing that, I mean, people would, every time we go someplace, man, people would, anybody of Latin or Spanish, they would always speak Spanish to fucking Scott. Scott would be like,
oh, really?
Yeah, always, man. Everybody thought he was Cuban. Like, no, dude, I'm from Baltimore.
Is it true he asked Tito Santana for a name that started with an R so that he could put it with Razor, and Tito gave him Ramon? I don't know. I heard that somewhere. I don't know if it's true.
I don't know.
I'll call Tito and find out. He'll probably want to be paid for that answer, though.
Arriba.
So when you guys leave and you do the big jump, right? It's pitched in the shower, yes?
Yeah, he tells me he's leaving, and I think we're
the locker room, the shower, something, right?
Well, I mean, and I want to think that like we're in like West Virginia, because he gives me like I'm gone, and he he tells me the numbers, and I'm like, wow, and like 180 days. And I'm like, but I'm on top, and ended up, I was still on top when when Brett wouldn't take the power bomb in your house in Louisville. I said, I walked in the locker room. We were in the shower again, and I just looked at him. I said, "Fuck, I'm joining you."
Oh, maybe that's what it was in the shower. Okay, when you decided to go, right?
Yeah, we were in the shower together.
Was that really the determining factor for you, like the last straw for you?
Yeah, because it was, and I love Brett, but I mean, my first pay-per-view, like I watched, I watched when they were, I always like to watch how people handle when they make somebody a champion for the first time, and that Hangman became a champion for AEW, so. Like, I watch TBS because basketball's on there, TNT and shit. And I see where they're going to have Bryan Daniels fight him. So I'm like, oh, fuck, man. Like this, like they're going to go with this guy. Like Brian's going to put they went like fucking a draw. And I said, ooh, Royal Rumble. That fucking match I had with Brett with 29 run-ins. It's like my first fucking title defense is a fucking draw. Like, wow, way to put the fucking bank behind me.
Nice.
Buy 9 shares. Fuck you.
But what was the days certainly would be after, being on the hamster wheel of the WWE. I'm sure the number of days that WCW required was a huge factor, right?
Oh my God.
Half the year.
I mean, you have to realize too, my wife I leave January the 6th. My son is born. I'm sorry. I leave June 6th. My son is born June the 12th. I do one night. I do that. My opening nitro. I come home and my son's born.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, to have, even though I was still gone a shitload, to have half of the time I had extra with my son was fucking. You couldn't put a price on just that, let alone knowing exactly how much you were going to get every 2 weeks, so you could A, pay your bills, B, actually, lo and behold, set up with a financial advisor and start putting together a portfolio.
Right, something predictable and dependable like that. Yeah.
You know, it was like having a real fucking job. And it just
was your first deal a 3-year deal? It was like 800, 900 or something.
Yeah, something like that. And I mean, we renegotiated fucking about as often as I take a shit. I mean, it seemed like, fuck, let's renegotiate. But you know what? As soon as Jim Ross, man, God bless you, Jim. As soon as he fucking said, you know, that Razor and Diesel were coming back, so okay, my fucking pager rang with a 404 and a 911, and next thing you know, I'm calling. They're telling me to get on a fucking private plane, meet with Lambros and Bischoff, and what the fuck's going on? You guys want more money? Sure, we'll take more money.
Yeah.
More money, longer terms, yeah. And Barry went in and got another deal for us.
Barry Bloom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Barry got another deal. And
when did he start negotiating for you guys? Was it
at the beginning? At the beginning, yeah. At WCW. There was no negotiating with Vince. Your contract was you were guaranteed 10 dates at $150. A $1,500 a year guarantee.
So, and Barry represented all you guys.
Yeah, Barry. I mean, and like when Bill came in, we got, you know, we got Bill to Barry, and like we brought everybody to Barry. Paul was all the WWE. Finally, the WWE wouldn't do business with him. They wouldn't negotiate with him.
When you walk out, when you leave, and you do WCW, what's the first time that you're in Vince's company again?
I see him in Newark Airport.
No kidding.
Yep.
A chance meeting.
Yeah, and it was. I mean, I've always gotten along with Vince. I've never had words with Vince. I've never been pissed off at Vince. I've been disappointed a couple of times with decisions that didn't go the way that I thought they should have, or things. But as far as just Vince McMahon, the man, he's a man. You know, he's not some bitch. You know, he's fucking.
But when you left for more money, he wasn't sore about it.
He understood. You know, I mean, he was. I'm sure he was sore, but I mean, it was just like, because I said, "Come on, man, just match their fucking offer, else I want to stay." Wasn't like fuck you. I was like, man, I got a kid coming. You know.
And was it it was the money he couldn't match, or was it the days?
Yeah,
but
it wasn't even that he couldn't match the money. He just knew that if he did it for me, he was going to have to do it for that whole locker room, and he couldn't financially do that at that time. You know, so we just like.
So what happens in Newark when you see him?
We just saw each other. We hugged, talked for a little bit. You know. We went our, you know, I went my way, he went his. But
your time in TNA with Scott wasn't as. Do you look back at it as fondly as the time you were together in WCW and WWE?
Nothing will touch what we did together in WCW. I mean, it was because we went in like we were Butch and Sundance. We were Poncho and Lefty. I mean, it was the two of us against everybody. And when you get that much heat on the baby faces week in and week out, and they're all in there fucking pissing and moaning, you're not exactly. And then Scott and I would have this, and it wasn't like even on purpose. It was just something that we would say, and like the guys would be talking about, different shit, and we'd be like, well, when we were in New York, and I remember one time we were in Minneapolis, and Sting was in the locker room next to us, and I heard he was talking to Lex, and I heard Steve say, if I hear them motherfuckers say, well, when we were in New York one more time, and if there was like that fiber board that you can move it, I knocked and I said, heard that. But me and Steve have been friends since, he tried to save me from I was going to get fired when I was Oz, and he was trying to save me, but then I think Dusty got fired before I got fired. So,
but when you get to TNA, I was reading what's his name, Duff McKagan's book from Guns N' Roses, right? And that was a band that partied hard across the board, all of them, right? And so when you're on the party train, everyone's having a good time. And then what starts to happen, one or maybe two of the members of the band start to slip more than the others. So like in this example, in Duff's book, he was partying pretty hard, but then like Steven Adler was, I think, the first one who they were realizing wasn't going to be able to continue at that pace. Was there a time where, when you guys were on the party train, you and Sean and Scott, where Scott became more of a concern for you than the others?
Yeah, and that was towards the end of the WCW run, and then we went into the NWO run with WWE, and a lot of people don't know this. People always ask. I think it was WrestleMania 18, whenever Scott worked against Austin, but people say, why didn't you have a match? And I'm like, well, the original finish up until Sunday was Scott and I were going to fuck Steve. And then Rock was going to go over on Hogan, and we were going to come down and get heat on Rock and leave WrestleMania with heat, which would be the first time, I think, in the history of WrestleMania that, that somebody would leave with heat.
Mm.
And in 24 hours, it went from beating me and Scott going down, getting beat up by Rock and Hulk, and pretty much getting fucked. And by the time we got showered, I couldn't even stay up with Scott. And we got into the hotel, and he didn't even go upstairs. He just went right to the bar, and he had been sober for 6-7 months at that time. And it just, my heart just fucking fell in my stomach. I was like,
mm.
And what was I supposed to say,
Well, that's, you're in a precarious position, being a friend, but also having been a partner to so much of that lifestyle. All you guys were. The party was part of the story of the Kliq, was it not? Like, could you tell the story of the Kliq without the 32 versus 33 Somas, which was a story that we all laughed about, and I laughed with Scott on camera about, which you look back and maybe it has a different tone now. I don't know, but that was part of the story.
Yeah, you know what? And Scott will be the first one, because he used to always, quote the famous Mickey Mantle line, if I'd known I was going to live this long, I'd take better care of myself. And it's just, that was Scott. And I knew the thing that just was so fucking, just was breaking my heart, was I knew that mentally, I think I'm pretty fucking strong. And the COVID thing was really fucking with me. Like the bottle of wine a night was, I'd take out the fucking recycle. I'd have to put a weight belt on. I mean, fuck, I was, I'm thinking, and the thing with Scott is when Scott's good, fucking, if I call Scott at 2:00 in the morning, man, it's like, hello. And all of a sudden it was like never getting, always didn't I'd get a text back, and then, 2 or 3 months go by and the texts wouldn't make sense. And I'd tell him I'd love him and hang in there, and and it just.
Were you talking on the phone at all, or?
Yeah,
or
what were we talking? I was trying to.
Yeah.
So.
Now his prior to COVID years ago, his divorce, I think, was a tough, one of the precipitating factors. I don't blame it on one thing, but that was a mountain for him to get over, right?
Yeah, I mean, I think Scott had a very didn't have a relationship with his father. And I remember his father was in Colorado Springs, I think. His father was a career military guy, pilot. He was a pilot. And, Scott was, his father was dying, and Scott, went to be at his bedside. And there was like, there was no closure, no nothing there. And I know that that was like a fucking, I think that if you have, in your life, if you have a relationship with anybody, and it's frayed, severed, whatever you want to say, and you're hoping you can put it together before, time doesn't allow you to. And
what about with Cody? Was it how did they have a
on again, off again? Cody's Scott's kid, man. He's sick. He's fucking, man. He's pig-headed. He just, and Scott would really. There was a time where I'm so glad that my son didn't get in the business.
Mm.
I think that would have been so difficult. I'm so glad that he's a musician, and I can, he can come downstairs and play guitar, and I could just look in awe, because I can't fucking, I'm not musically inclined.
Right. He's got his own thing.
Yeah. And I think that's one thing that's, when you're trying to follow your father's footsteps, and especially when Scott's so fucking good, and he's telling you what you should do to become successful, and you're kind of, balking at his tutelage. It's kind of like, and they just kind of went their separate ways. And I think I know it always hated Scott. And I know that now in retrospect, talking to Cody since his father passed, it's just, I think he realizes, that, I think that because like what and people probably don't know the kind of the breakdown of what happened as far as Scott passing and the timeline, but Scott had was locked down. He was in a little duplex. He lived in New Smyrna. Or Smyrna, I think it is, Smyrna, Georgia. It's over by where the Braves Stadium is.
Mm-hmm.
And Scott was getting Grubhub, and he had some Chinese takeout place that would bring him vodka. And he told me all this shit. It wasn't like, and he was making some Kool-Aid. And he put the plastic pitcher up to the refrigerator, and the ice went in it, but a couple of the pieces of ice, as always, bounced out and landed on the floor.
Mm-hmm.
They went over, stirred it, and I'm sure it was Crystal Light because he always ate pretty clean. And he was going back to get something, and like one of those pieces of ice caught his heel. He did the fucking whoops-a-daisy and fucking landed and broke his other hip.
Mm-hmm.
And he's in the middle of his living room. I mean, not the middle of his kitchen.
Yeah.
And he's in so much pain he can't move. He tries to move several different times. He can't move. Finally, he passes out. He wakes up, and it's nighttime. So he has no idea. He can see his phone, where his phone is over by his recliner, and on like he's in between that and the Kool-Aid. So that he ends up passing back out, wakes up, and at this point he's just like, I'm so dehydrated. I'm gonna, and he's got a defibrillator, and a pacemaker in his heart. And he's like, I'm gonna croak if I don't get some fluids. So he turned and just gutted it, and got his back to the cabinet and reached up with two hands. He said like he was picking up a Fabergé egg, and got that pitcher of Kool-Aid and just drank it like through the spout, sip by sip. He said, slowly it was like he got, enough to him, and he was able to just drag himself and he called 911, and they came and got him, and they took him to the hospital. So he went to like Kennestone Hospital, which is, like a fucking two out of 5-star hospital.
Mm.
And I don't think that Scott had insurance. I know Scott didn't have insurance. And but he needed to get the hip fixed. And he had some other problems and some other issues, and they did some CAT scans, and he had some kind of perforation in his bowel, and
as a result of the fall.
I don't know. As
Right.
a result of CT scans. And I talked to him a couple of times on the phone. I talked to him every day when he was in the hospital, because there was an actual landline that I could call. And Dallas was really a great friend during this, as far as being there for Scott. And what we're going to do is, Dallas had just gotten remarried to Paige, his new wife, and they had talked about it. And Dallas, asked would it be cool, because Dallas has got Dallas is the only motherfucker on earth that like upgraded his life at 60. He's got a big ass fucking house. Everybody else is trying to get out of their shit, And Dallas is like, fuck it, I don't have any kids. I'd die. Fuck, what are they gonna do? So,
if you turn the house into a production studio for your rehab show, you get to write the whole fucking thing off, don't you?
Well, I mean, he's got a studio. He's got for a while there, his studio was doing half the AEW fucking editing and everything else when they fucking first kicked off. He's done well. So he was keeping me in the loop, and then but they were going to bring when it came time to get Scott out of the hospital, they were going to bring him to Dallas's, and he was going to stay at Dallas's and kind of recover there. And so I talked to Dallas. I was in Bobby Fulton had some show that I was at that I was signing with Kurt Angle, and that was on Saturday. And I got a call Sunday morning. God, it was early, and it was Paul. And Paul said that Scott had 3 heart attacks, and it was like didn't look good. And so I tried to get a flight to Atlanta, couldn't. So went back to Daytona Beach, and then couldn't get a flight out of Daytona Beach. And then they were just, at that point, they said that, they were going to pull the plug. And the doctor said that it would be, maybe 10 minutes that Scott be alive. So before they pulled the plug, we all the Kliq guys got on speakerphone and we all talked to them. Our cried, basically, is all we did. And it
was a few hours later, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, like, it was like 7 hours later, and Scott was still alive. And Scott's brother said that the only reason Scott's still alive is because he wanted to make sure that he lived long enough for Dana missed her fucking flight and she couldn't go back to Colorado. And I said, fuck yeah. I said, that's my boy right there, man. But, yeah.
You know he heard you guys because they do say the last thing that goes is the hearing. So to anybody who gets that opportunity to say something, even though you think someone can't receive it, there's enough evidence that they do. So
Yeah.
it's good that you guys did that. It is. How is Cody now? He has a daughter also, right?
Yeah, Cassidy.
Cassidy.
I think it's I really need to call Cass because I haven't talked to her. Cody and I have just kind of text back and forth. I know he's got a match with Moose coming up out in California. I think it's out in California against Moose. So I'm going to definitely touch base with him before he has that match. But he's training. You know, he's living where Scott, where Scott was living. He took over Scott's place, and he's living there in Atlanta, and just trying to, he's 30 years old now, so he's the age when I broke in, so it's going to be a little bit harder for him.
Yeah.
So,
Is as far as coming to terms with his relationship with Scott and stuff, is he on a positive road?
I think so. I mean, I think that, it's the old, you don't know what you got till it's gone. I think that, I think he realized, as we all do in retrospect, that, Fucker he was a smart dude.
Mm-hmm.
And he had a lot of wisdom. And even though he had a lot of demons, he had a hell of a lot more wisdom than he had demons.
How did I got to go there. How did WWE do with handling Scott's passing? So close to what was the date that Scott died? Was it? Let me see. I have it here.
13th, 7th. I don't know.
Right, and that was coming up right on. Let's see.
It was right before
March
WrestleMania.
14th. So WrestleMania was coming up about a month after that. So how is that going to go?
WrestleMania was much closer to Scott's death than that, because WrestleMania, we didn't have the service. We didn't put Scott to rest and have his service till after Mania. So there was some talk about doing some things.
But the service was a couple of weeks after that, wasn't it? Wasn't there some time after the passing? I kind of remembered that it was.
He passed March 14th.
Right.
When was WrestleMania?
April 2nd. Okay, so it was 2 weeks, about 2 weeks.
Yeah. And they wanted to do some things, and I just told them, I said, man, you guys can do whatever you want to do. There was talk about doing like a hologram thing with Scott and some other things. I said, you guys can do whatever you want to do. I said, I'm not going to fucking say anything negative about anybody that wants to do something for them. I said, I'm not ready, and I didn't leave my house for I didn't go on the road. I didn't do shit for a while. I mean, that you know,
It's too soon.
yeah, it fucked me up.
Yeah. It's too soon. Will there ever be another Scott Hall? Such a unique
No.
guy. A talent, worked everywhere. Universally regarded as one of the great workers, talkers, had it all.
And the thing was too is like he's so misunderstood. Like so many people, you know, will say he was a dick. You know, he was a prick. I never saw Scott ever walk by a homeless person and not give him money or
Really?
never.
Wow.
No. You know, I I just feel blessed that I got to know him.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing that.
There's a few of us that know Scott.
Mhm.
The rest of them, he didn't give a fuck. You know, he didn't give a fuck if you liked him, didn't like him.
That's the thing that's lost in all this very often. I mean, I guess you can't tell the Scott Hall story without the addiction and the story about the pills and the good times.
Well, he shot somebody.
with the yes.
I mean, that's
yeah.
the PTSD of that was always.
Mhm.
I used to tell Scott all the time, dude, alcohol's not your problem. It's your solution. Problem is what happened in the back of the fucking dollhouse. That's your problem. Scott's a Christian. Scott fucking to this day, you know, I pray that, you know, there is a heaven. He just thought that he wasn't going.
Did he ever get any counseling? Any? Not so. I mean, he had rehab. He had the rehab stints, but
You know, our generation of people, do we fucking get counseling?
I don't know. Maybe not. But
Or do we go in? And when fucking somebody says something, you get in the car, and you go, "Oh, fucking asshole! That fucking person doesn't know shit." Where every time Scott would go to rehab, you know, it'd be like, "Hey, Scott, how's rehab? Fucking drummer from Holes in here, man. What a fucking mess. These people are fucking crazy as shit. Like, I'm not so bad at all. I thought I was fucked up until I got in here."
well, maybe that was the therapy, getting into
Remember
rehab and seeing everybody else.
I think Kid dropped him off, like one of them. That kid dropped him off, and you know they were both fucked up, and Scott was saying that this is Scott Hall to Sean, and they're trying to tell Waltman he had to go in, and then fucking Scott was fucking hammered, and the whoever the fuck was it, the administration person looked at him and he said, "Oh, this is a nice start for you." And he goes, "Yeah, I figured this way here maybe I'd get most improved."
Set the bull.
So,
Well, it was we could talk all day about Scott, and we won't. But I'm glad you got some of the real stuff in there, the emotion.
yeah.
You know,
He loved his kids, you know, and I think he tried the best he could to be the best father. He did, you know. But he loved his daughter, you know, he loved his son.
Yeah. Well, no, it's good to hear. It's good to hear. And it's good to hear that you guys had an opportunity to talk. I mean, COVID. You mentioned what the precipitous downfall that COVID caused someone like Scott with the isolation, you know, the forced isolation, and that
Which is the worst thing you can do if you're fucking battling demons.
exactly. That's what I was going to say. He's sitting there alone with all his demons.
Fucking Don Quixote.
Yeah. But listen, your public has questions for you, Kevin.
Cool.
Should we give him a shot at you now? Let's see. Now you can always ask Kevin Or let's say Ask Nash, because that's what the hashtag is. Ask Nash on Twitter. And we're going to be, this is episode 1. We'll be giving you guys some opportunities for some live stuff. And we have to work all that out, what our premium shows are going to be. But we will give you an opportunity to do stuff live with us.
Did we nix that guess your inseam thing?
Guess your inseam? Like that's, you know what? I thought with the...
we just went out because we just changed it to once a month. We're just going to do cock talk.
Yeah, I thought
and it's going to be brought to you by it's going to be brought to you by Norm Macdonald.
The dying sentiments of the Kliq to Scott Hall erased any levity about cock that I had for you. The transition into the Twitter thing I've been flirting with for 10 minutes as we talked about this, because I do have to tell you, Kevin, and everybody else, that listen, you're obviously a fan of professional wrestling, right? You're not going to be listening to this or watching this if you're not. But whether you're a fan of wrestling today or you were glued to your TV on Monday nights and your favorite wrestlers were no longer active, we have the perfect free mobile game for you on both Android's Google Play and the Apple App Store. It's called Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. Ultimate Wrestling Trivia. Feel the flood of memories come rushing back to you as you test your knowledge on all things from the world of professional wrestling. By playing Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, you're not alone in this quest, as they've enlisted the help of more than 30 of their more famous friends to ask some of the questions and cheer you on. They'll celebrate when you answer a question correctly or bust your chops when you get a question wrong. This game has multiple former world champions, including 5 Hall of Famers, such as Kevin Nash, Eric Bischoff, Mr. USA, right, Tony Atlas, Big Papa Pump, Scott Steiner, Jerry the King Lawler. Download Ultimate Wrestling Trivia today. See where you stack up against the competition on the leaderboard. Maybe there's a segment where you all compare your inseams. Download Ultimate Wrestling Trivia today. You can search for it in the App Store on Apple or Google Play, or go to ultimatewrestlingtrivia.com for more info. If you like trivia, then you'll love Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, the free mobile game with over 10,000 questions. You're not going to get repeat questions, guys. 10,000 questions, more than 650 video questions, and over 30 wrestlers and legends, including Kevin Nash. Find out who knows more wrestling trivia between you and your friends when you all play in the same faction. To download, just search Ultimate Wrestling Trivia in the App Store on Apple or Google Play, or go to ultimatewrestlingtrivia.com for more info. Thank you, Ultimate Wrestling Trivia, for sponsoring the Kevin Nash questions on Twitter. So let's see what we got here, Kev. Let's round this out. And Tommy Moore is up first. And he is asking, let's see, Tommy Moore here. Where is his Mr. Moore? Okay, so who were some of the biggest head cases you ever had to work with in a match? Or were backstage? Do you also have any stories about these individuals? Thanks, big fan. Head cases.
God. I mean, there's really not a lot of head cases. I mean, they get weeded out pretty damn quick.
Nobody, you had to kind of walk away from it at one point and go, holy fuck, what is that one talking about? Anyone really out to lunch?
No, I mean, there were some people that were just, they're just difficult to do business with because they had a perception of their character or what they, and I mean, those kind of things, just the butting of heads of but, like people would think that I would say, that Bill Goldberg and I had, and it was like, Bill and I, like I've known Bill Goldberg since I bounced, and Bill was at the University of Georgia, and he used to go into Confetti's, and, Pyre used to party with him when he was in college. So it's like, Bill's been my friend. It's like, a year of our life, it was intertwined kind of in a shitty way. And people think that, that he was like, it was never a head case.
Right.
He just was, he knew what he wanted to do, and he knew he was being successful in doing that. And, so I mean, but
did he give the okay with you ending the streak, because of your history? Why was it you?
Oh, I don't know. I mean, I don't know why it was me. I mean, you would think it. At one point it was because I was booking, but that's been proven false. I think it's the fact that he knew that at 63 years old, as I am right now, that I would look exactly like Ed Harris on Westworld. But God, I got some fucking lines in my face. No, I just put it this way: if Bill didn't want me to power bomb him, and he would have fucking just fucking dead sacked my ass. That son of a bitch, if you've ever seen, I mean, you ever watched that power bomb? He took that thing like, he took it like a pro, man.
Yeah.
I mean, so I at this point in my life, I have nothing but love for Bill.
Justin Terry asks, because wrestling has a deep tradition with handshakes, have you ever shaken hands with someone you didn't respect? Or did you refuse to? Also, has anyone refused to shake your hand?
No, nobody's ever refused to shake my hand. And on top of that, the handshake thing is almost, I don't think it's respectful as much as it is tribal. Just like, you're the boys, like this,
Right.
like, and then when we broke in, it was like, the hey brother, and then like slowly guys like me got in there. We went, hell, because that's all the guys would tell you. They say, you want to fuck these guys up, man. Like I was like 340, fucking shake their hand and just fucking smash it. They'll think you're not smart at all. I'm working with you tonight. They'd be like, oh, fuck, got a giant cement mixer here.
Yeah. See, I'm siding with Matt Borne with a lot of you guys really did smash tradition.
We did.
Let me tell you a funny wrestler handshake story. I don't know if it was born out of the handshake. You can tell me where this tradition comes from. Just told this story again on Renee Dupree's show. Harley Race. We were working with him one time, and it was snowing, and he had to fly out very early for a wedding the next day to get back to Kansas City. And I stood to look out the window, and it was still snowing, and he says, "It better lighten up out there, or this is going to cost you another $1,000." At which point he reaches under me from behind and tweaks my balls. I mean, I'd heard of the wrestler's handshake. I was wondering if this was part of that deal. I'm not selling it. I'm standing there just kind of looking out the window going, oh, nope, still snowing, Harley. And he's cackling like a madman behind me. But, I got to tell everyone Harley Race grabbed my balls. You know what else he did that night that was amazing, Kevin? He took a bottle cap and he put it between these two fingers, like arguably the weakest fingers on the hand, right? This way, like wide, and then folded it in half like a clamshell. And we were just sitting there. He was pounding Bud Lights. I was sitting next to him. We were doing a take on a voice thing. And he leans over and goes, "Can you do this?" And I'm like, "Well, Harley, usually the answer is no, but show me." He fucking folded the bottle cap. Everyone talks about how tough he is, how he punched, folding a bottle cap in half with these two fingers.
I remember one time he was my manager for like a year. He had me and Curtis Hughes. And we're driving and we get lost leaving the DC Armory. And the DC Armory is like, people from the hood won't go to the DC Armory. So we're leaving the DC Armory. And lo and behold, like I said, I say, Harley, fuck, man, it's a one-way street. I'm only going one way. I'm like, oh, Jesus. And one thing about Harley is, if you were going the wrong way, at least you were going 100. So 30 minutes, it's like, Harley, I think we need to go east. I think it's west. Half hour later, you're 4 states with that son of a bitch driving 120 in a rented Cadillac. So we end up pulling into Bethesda Naval Hospital. And the only reason he stopped is because there were armed guards there that actually pointed at the vehicle. He slams on the brakes, looks up, and he goes, unrolls the window, he goes, "I'm fucking lost. How the fuck do I get to BWI?" And the guys just walked over and they just said, "Turn around, da-da-da-da-da-da. Thank you." And I was just thinking to myself, like, we just had guns pointed at us, Harley. Like I told you, like 18 minutes ago, we were going the wrong fucking way.
He's Harley, though. You get away with it when you're Harley.
7-time real world champion.
Salvatore
So I
asks,
told that motherfucker.
anytime you want the Harley impression, by the way, during any story, it doesn't have to be a Harley story.
We could
you
throw
go
it
with
in.
that. Yeah. Salvatore wants to know, Sean and Kevin, do you think Eric Roberts' acting coach feels guilty cashing Eric's checks?
Well, that's stiff. You know what? What was the movie that he was in?
Pope of Greenwich Village.
Right. So I did DOA with Eric Roberts, and we spent 110 days in fucking China together. So he's a really personable guy, and it was so great because we get there and he's supposed to be like, you know, because he did a couple of those karate movies like early in his career. His fucking hip, he can barely fucking walk, and he's supposed to do these fight scenes. He gets there, he's like, fuck, I can't do it. What do you do? Like, fuck you. So, but anyway, we would go down to the different, like we were in Guilin, and we would go down to this fucking hole-in-the-wall gym and train, and just take a little, you know, little like rickshaw, like little 2-seater. It was like a motorcycle with 2 seats in the back. We'd go to the gym, and you know, we spent a lot of time together. And I asked him, I said, you know, just asked him about his career, and I asked him about, you know, he said, I thought I was going to get the Oscar for that movie. He said, and that was the big buzz, was I was going to get the Oscar. He said, when I didn't get the Oscar for that movie, I called my agent and I said, I'm going to fucking do everything that comes my way. I'm not going to turn down a fucking job, including the Mariah Carey video. I mean, that motherfucker, that was the whole thing. He just said, fuck it.
This is after Pope of Greenwich Village.
Yes, after Pope, he just said, fuck it. I'm going to do everything that comes my way.
But he thought he was getting an Oscar for that, huh?
Yep. It's a pretty strong performance.
It's a committed performance. It's definitely he chose an interesting way to go.
Especially in the supporting actor.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, it was.
Manny, we got gloves.
Lie. I put lie in his frickin' drink. JBL Cena Fan 2, the match with you and Shawn Michaels versus Razor and X-Pac. Who's calling that one? It was straight up a greatest hits of all of you doing everything. Who's putting that match together as far as in ring? Off the chart.
Everybody. If you remember, I get fucking knocked out, and I lay on the apron for like half of the match. And but they wanted this because it was the story that they wanted it told. So they make this. They tell Scott to come over and stomp me during this specific spot. So Scott comes over and stomps me, and Vince goes, "That wasn't very bright. Wake up a sleeping giant." So we watched it back later on, and Scott's like, "Motherfucker, man, you told me to do that." But that was all of us. And it was so great too, because like we went out, that was like we did like a challenge or whatever it was, but it was the first Action Zone match that they ever did. And so we did that match, and Pat Patterson came downstairs. We did it in White Plains, and Pat Patterson came downstairs and he said, Vince gave you guys the rest of the night off. You're done. He says, no, you can't follow that. We were like, fuck, sweet.
Can you just one of the fans' favorites of the shows we did together for Kayfabe commentaries was the Pat Patterson segment. So could you maybe just give me that as Pat? Could you do the impression?
Oh,
Pat giving you the.
Goddamn, Vince up there. He say, you guy, super. You guys fucking. They're up there. They're banana over it. So you gotta go home.
It's fantastic. Kyle Bowman wondering if you would ever write an autobiography of your life and wrestling career.
No.
That's a flat no? Just like that, huh?
Yeah, I mean, fuck. I mean, my whole deal is I've lived this life. It's like I've been to besides Antarctica, there's no place on this planet I haven't fucking been. And I have no pictures, no nothing. What I have is here in my head. And I can now Google search it and see how much it's changed. But as far as I'm concerned, just like every story I have, like if I just did the Kliq for 3 years and did that that book, everybody is married. I mean, Paul's got 3 kids. Sean's a Christian. I mean, it's like,
You'd have to unearth too many skeletons.
yeah, it's
you're
like,
saying.
why? For what? For money?
Well, you've done a lot of other stuff. You talked about being all over the world. You played basketball in Europe and smacked around the Volunteers head coach. I mean, those
Yeah.
stories alone would be valuable. No? Well, you have a podcast. You don't need a book. We're going to talk about it here.
Exactly. I can talk shit on this.
Exactly. Joe
And-
Stojic. Yeah.
And so, the coach's name was Don DeVoe.
Yes, Don DeVoe.
Yeah. And I just want to say, I mean, now, in retrospect, fuck you. I wish I'd have punched you in the fucking head and just kept coming at you like fucking Tyson, you fucking puss.
No remorse there.
No.
Joe Stojic, looking at some of the gimmicks in your early career that didn't work, Steel, Oz, Vegas, was it ever discussed for you to be something that touched on your past, i.e. basketball player, athlete, soldier, bouncer? You think any of those would have worked for you back then?
Vinny Vegas was kind of a bouncer-ish. Vinny
Okay.
Vegas was the only one that I came up with. And that was good enough for Shawn Michaels to say, I like Vinny Vegas. Let's take this fucking bring him up here. So I guess mine worked.
But never about the tapping into the basketball thing or.
No.
And the last one.
Basketball's not exactly one of those things you go, I don't think I'd fuck with that guy. He does play pro basketball.
Yeah, no, but they tried that shit. I understand why he's asking this because this was at an era where you mean
That you're talking about when
hockey
everybody was
players and
the occupation. Yeah, everybody was an occupation.
right. Pig
I always
farmer.
thought that the best spot would be just a gynecologist.
Well, think of the fucking promos.
Oh,
On the whole, I'm okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
you're gonna feel a little scrapey when I get done with you.
exactly.
Is that cold?
I love it. Very good. Ronald will round us out here asking if you had a pre-match routine. That's interesting.
This is absolutely insane. Okay, because I'm agnostic.
Mm-hmm.
But I would always, this is like right before I go to the ring, I would do 12 Hindu squats. On the 12th one, I would basically go into a catcher's stance. Like as low as I could, like put my ass to my heels. And I would put my hands like this and I would put them like my knee on each side of my elbows. So I'm bent down like in a catcher, so I'm like this, and I would say the Lord's Prayer, and then I would go out to my music.
Where did it come from? Why'd you start it?
Because the first time I ever worked with Van Hammer, back when we were, breaking in, he came over to me, and we were going to go through it like a kind of, at that time, a spot for 2 guys our side. We were going to do this over-the-top thing into a table. And he came over and he put his arms around me like this, and he went, hedge of protection, hedge of protection. And he walked away from me. And I just, in my mind, I was just like, fuck, that was sweet. That's going to go good now. Like I actually like okay, I got a hedge of protection now. I can go right through that fucking table.
Yeah.
Hurt like shit, but I mean I did have that protection. Much like CARSHIELD.
Much like CARSHIELD, you get the hedge of protection. I'm going to work that into the next read next week.
That's right.
Very good. Listen, probably not the most fun thing you could have done tonight, but better than a colonoscopy, right?
Oof. As long as I don't find a polyp.
We went 2 hours with Nash. And you did too, our great listeners out there.
Thank you guys so much for listening, and we're going to be more interactive. I just wanted to get this out because I wanted to. There was nothing I could talk about before I talked about Scott, so I just wanted to. And
this was the perfect way to open it.
Yeah, I miss him every day.
And
I know there's a lot of motherfuckers out there, man, that do. If you follow me on Twitter, it's Real Kevin Nash. And there's some gentlemen that put out a YouTube video that showing some love for Scott. Say goodbye to the bad guy, and you can look at it on my page, and then you can download it or whatever you need to do.
Yeah, it's cool. I did see that yesterday.
It was not. It was very, very cool.
Well, Kliq This is a production of Butch and Sundance Media, produced in association with Podcast Hate producer Steve Kaufman. Theme song by Dale Oliver. Additional music and research by Tristan Nash. Copyright 2022.
Can I break in real quick?
Yeah.
T, come over here. Yeah, what's up? So this would not be been down there, bud. Yeah. So this would not be happening if it wasn't for my son, who's my tech man, who got everything going, and so I just wanted to.
Oh, I'll confirm that we be trying to get connected on a fucking abacus or something here with the.
So I wanted to give a shout out to my son for fucking number one putting up with me, but number two for fucking making sure I got this shit done.
I much prefer calling Tristan with a question about internet connection than you.
You know what? Like I say. This is from Bob Nash, my father, who I only had for 8 years, but I learned fucking 99% of my values in life are from my dad. I remember one time my mom telling my dad, "Bob, you need to go out and paint the garage." And I remember him sitting there down at the kitchen table going, "There's a guy in the phone book, and you look up painter."
Right.
And see, what he does is he comes over at your house and he paints your shit, and you give him money, and that's how he feeds his family. He said, "I work for Ford Motor Company. You buy Ford Motor Company automobiles, and you feed my family." He said, and it goes. I mean, if the Fuller Brush man came to our house, we bought. My dad bought every brush the fucker had. If an American Indian came with the salt and pepper shakers. I mean, you came to our house selling shit, my dad was buying it, because but at the same time, it's just like.
You're supporting the working man.
Yeah, he didn't do shit. He didn't cut the lawn. He didn't do,
Well,
so.
in light of the Bob Nash story, it'd be pertinent to ask you, you want to do another one next week?
Fuck yeah.
All right, do another.
Thanks, buddy.